Chelsea have just wrapped up the English Premier League, and their manager Carlo Ancelotti, I believe you had a fair bit to do with him.
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, 4 years he was our manager at Milan. I can't speak highly enough of the man. You know, he's done it as a player, now he's done it as a coach. Just fantastic player, a coach to work under. He's a real player's manager. He's obviously been there, he knows what it's all about. He knows how to get across to the players, and the most important thing is the players play for him. They love to play for him. He's such a great guy.
How would you compare him to Gus Hiddink?
Gus, different, two different coaches. Like Ancelotti's someone I worked with 4 years and you never got sick of him. Gus is someone that 6 months and you go and you're pulling your hair out and this guy's killing us every day. You know what I mean? Like, he's hard. Gus is really someone who he's got his goals and he goes for them and he doesn't care what it takes out of everyone. He gets the maximum out of everyone, but I think it's something short term. If you see, I don't think he's ever taken a job long term anywhere because he's just so hard line, just so focused, and it takes a lot out of you. You know, come the end of the season, you're so mentally drained from all this pressure that I don't know, at club level, he's been successful. He has been successful, but I don't know if I could go through another World Cup like we did last month. It was 6 weeks of intense training. It was hard.
And you said with the 2007 you played 5 out of the 14 games. What's it like? Tell us what it's like to be the number 2 keeper and how you prepare for a game knowing that you're not going to run out there. Is the preparation the same as if you were playing? What's it like?
It's the same preparation, because at the end of the day, at that level, you just never know what's going to happen. It's not as if I can go out and eat McDonald's and then go and sit on the bench and expect not to play, because if I do come on, the Big Macs are going to be sitting there and I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. Now you prepare exactly like the players who are starting the match,
yep.
And it's all about waiting for your opportunity, because at the big clubs, once you get an opportunity, you've got to take it with both hands. And when you take it, they don't change, because the level is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like there's 24 players at AC Milan. From the number 1 keeper to the 3rd keeper, the level is not much different. You know, and that's the brilliance about training with these guys every day. You actually improve. You're actually already at a high level. You actually go and train with these guys, you actually improve more. So yeah, you just prepare the same and encourage the guy who's playing to do his best, because at the end of the day we're all on the same bonuses and we're all after the same goal, is to win as many matches as we can and win whatever we can.
And I'm sure you would have been offered other positions with other lesser clubs, I guess, to be their number 1 keeper. Why did you stay at AC Milan in the position you were instead of maybe taking another offer?
Well, when I went to Milan, it was a choice. I could have went to Roma on a certain figure, and I could have went to as first keeper, and I could have went to AC Milan as second keeper on double that figure.
Yeah.
And I was 30 years old, 31. No, I was 32. I was 32 at the time.
Last year then.
31. Yeah, last year. So I just said, well, look, I'm going to go to one of the biggest clubs in the world. I'm going to go there, I'm going to fight for my position. You never know what can happen in football. They're offering me double the money that this mob's offering me to play. I'll go, I'll fight. The first year I only played 3 matches. I only played 3 matches the first year, but the second year I played half a season. The year after I played almost the whole season. So yeah, sometimes you have to make a choice. It depends how much you got it in here. If you actually think that you can go there and compete and prepared to wait for your chance and be ready for your chance to come, that's what you have to do. Some people are impatient. Some people want to be where Mark Schwarzer is now at the age of 16. It can't be done. Can't be done. You have to be patient and work on it.
Speaking of Schwarzer, you grew up in the western suburbs of Sydney about the same time as Schwarzer and also Mark Bosnich.
Yeah, we're all 72.
All played in the same sort of rep teams, I guess, and that sort of stuff. Who's a better keeper, Schwarzer or Bosnich?
Kalacs. 3 different keepers, really.
Yeah.
3 different keepers. But I think, to be quite honest, I think Bozza was the best of us. I think Bozza reflex-wise in the goal was unbelievable. The new rule when you couldn't pass the ball back anymore and pick it up destroyed Bozza, because he's got 3 right feet because he's a left footer, and his feet were terrible, and they killed him. They actually worked against him. And the harder he trained and the more he tried to correct it, the more problems he ended up getting. So I think when it comes to being goalkeeper-wise, power-wise, I think Bozza was the best.
How tall is he compared to you?
Bozza's a big boy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a big boy. He looks a bit chubbier, but he's just like strong, and he had so much power. Like the spring between the goals was unbelievable.
I was watching the Soccer FC or whatever it's called, the footy show on Fox the other day, and the experts were picking their squad for the World Cup, and they went through each position. They went through goalie, and obviously Schwarzer was a certainty, but there was a lot of speculation about who else would be there. Who do you think will be Schwarzer's replacement when he leaves?
I don't know. Some of them need to really wake up and really see that their opportunity is there and start playing. Like, I don't know. There's no one. That was the problem even when I retired from the national team. The problem was who was actually going to take over. Like if something happened to Schwartzy or myself, whoever was playing, it was okay because there was another one to back up. But actually now we're in a problem and we don't have anyone really to back up. So someone really needs to come out quickly. But until they start playing these international matches, like the Asian Cup matches, to see whether they're up to this level, because there is a big difference between club level and international level. So, I mean, someone's going to... Look, I think they'll take Federici, the guy from Reading. I think they'll take him. And I think they'll take Galekovic, I think, from Australia. I think they'd be crazy not to take someone from Australia. So I think that would be the way I would go. But we just hope that nothing happens to Schwartzy.
Yeah. And in terms of the A-League, how do you see that standard? Did you catch much?
Yeah, no, I've seen some of the matches. I must say it was disappointing to see what happened. Like I was so happy to see Sydney FC win it this year because the whole structure of the club has improved, and that's the way the other A-League clubs should be looking. Like they brought in a European coach who's brought something to the game. He's got an assistant coach who's the ex-Socceroo, who's played at the level here. He's played overseas, as in Tony Popovic. So he's now teaching him the trade of being a coach, where the other clubs don't seem to be doing that. It's disappointing to see what happened to Queensland Raw. You know, when I read the story about Craig Moore and the senior players there, and the young players, the best three young players from Queensland, have now all gone away. So they're in a bit of trouble there. I think financially, that's the biggest problem with Australian soccer is the finance of it all. You know, the budget seems to be not big enough, but yet it seems to be big enough that the clubs are going bankrupt. So I don't know which step we go. I mean, do we bring it down and go more with youth and try to develop our younger players? This is the key to Australian football. Our young kids here, we need to develop them much better than what we are at the moment.
I'm going to, if it's okay with you, open up the floor to see if there's a few questions there. I was just going to ask you one other about, I didn't really pick it up out there on the training ground, but defending a penalty, what do you do? What's the tip you can give these guys in terms of...
Pick a side and hope.
That works occasionally.
Pick a side and hope. Dive and try to cover as much of that side you can and just hope the ball hits you.
It's alright if you're 6'7".
Yeah, no, it goes alright if you pick the right side. It's a problem when they put it on the other side and you're like, hello.
Did you ever get approached by Sydney Kings or any of that
basketball? No, I actually decided to be a goalkeeper because I couldn't run. So I decided, well, I'll go in goals late, so I'll just scream at everyone else and I'll just stand there and just save the balls. So playing basketball is too much running, playing AFL, too much running. My dad said to me, off you go in goals. So that was me, that was how my career was made.